Idlozi. I am Partum, the advocate of Idlozi, and I welcome you to my channel. And thank you so much for choosing to view this video. Well, on today's video, it's just a mini catch-up session, but more like a diary session, because I was a bit triggered by a situation I encountered today. I was triggered a lot, there was a scenario that happened, and yeah, it was in my area, and I was triggered by the whole situation, and it got me to today's topic to speak about postpartum depression. And I would like to share my story a bit so that probably it helps someone, because like we are now a family, and any issues, it affect either of us. And because we are a family, it doesn't mean that we're all going through the same thing. All of us are going through izinto zamadlozi. All of us are going through this. We also have personal things that we're going through or have never ever spoken about. But on today's video, I'd like to just touch on that a bit, and hopefully give someone some light and some closure, because healing work is broad, like I always say. So pregnancy is a beautiful time. It's a beautiful space to be in. From that moment you find out that you are pregnant, we receive news differently. Some people go into shock. Some people are excited because they are expecting it, or whatever the case might be. And we're just different as people. But pregnancy changes you as a woman. And I'm not just talking about the physical part, but I'm talking about the emotional and the mental part. Well, I had, a pregnancy, what you would call a normal pregnancy, with a bit of less complications. But the complications around the pregnancy were generally around things that were happening, but nothing in relation to the baby. So I went through most of my pregnancy because I found out I was pregnant. I think I was 3 months. And the relationship I was in, it was an early relationship. So at that time, I was not really expecting a child, because you never actually plan to have a child. So I found out I was pregnant actually on my birth month. The weekend we birthday and I that's when I found out, because I was super exhausted on that weekend, but being in either way, because so I had to actually carry on with everything. And deep down inside, I felt to a certain extent that man, maybe because Amados maybe knew that I was probably gonna choose to opt for a termination or an abortion, for a lack of a better use of words, because I was so aware of my situation. I was still finding myself, I was still going through a lot, but it just was a great coincidence, because I was already 3 months into the pregnancy, and I thought I was just a month. So things around me were just not working. The relationship got complicated, and yeah, things just went south. And I was then trying to find myself, trying to also find a job, trying to also and now you have news that you're pregnant. And I switched off. I was like, I'm gonna focus on this baby and everything. I went through the whole 9 months alone, but not practically alone. My mom was there for me through and through, and my brother. They were a good supportive structure, but my mom was like always there with me. She was like my best friend. I had no really contact, because pregnancy isolates you, sometimes, because you get rejected from the community. Mina, in my community, bebangithuka bathi nginyumba, bebangithuka nakhona saying ukuthi ngizomithiswa amakhabethe wasekhaya. They just having izinto ezisnacksy, but yeah, muhle mara like they're just having these things. So I just chose to actually take my pregnancy as is. I was indoors most of my pregnancy, and I was isolated from everything and everyone. And I tried to keep my spirits up for the longest time, but I was not necessarily aware that I am actually, enabling, or rather, self-medicating something that is at the later stage going to affect me. So I went through the pregnancy, and I was in labor for like 16 hours. I had a natural birth, although it was a bit painful because I was not sexually active throughout my pregnancy because I was single. And I didn't feel that it would be okay if I were to encounter someone else's DNA when I'm actually, I'm pregnant. So I was single, for the duration of my pregnancy. So luckily, la ngatholela khona umntana, Philip Moy. Shout out to Umam Polina. I actually should go and thank her because that lady helped me. So amathambo wambe wahlangene, and because it's been a while, sex is important when you're pregnant. So she actually helped me. It was a very graphic situation where she had to actually put her whole arm inside me, so azongvula amathambo, so that I was able to actually give birth, because if that didn't happen, it was gonna lead me to actually have an operation. So yo labor pains they will show you flames. And with me, like, my body shut down. I was excited, ready for the birthing part. I was doing my squats. I was that girl. But when that day comes, you are actually never prepared. I respected my vagina. I respected a woman. I respected a woman's vagina, because giving birth is an out-of-body experience. You leave your body and actually go get your child's soul from the heavens in that split moment, when it's such a beautiful thing. It's a painful, but it is a beautiful, painful situation. And I had my child, and it was on the 20th of March, and yeah, I don't believe that I actually birthed, but it happened, and now the reality kicks in that this is the whole person. You need to look after this person. There's no longer just you. You have to now look after this person. And I was not aware, because in our communities, you are being taught to be the strong woman, and you never really get to vocalize when you're not okay. I wouldn't vocalize because my mom was one of those vocal people. She's like, wow, but I was inside dying. But I didn't know how to put it out. I was angry for a long time, and I was disconnected to my son. And I the first 6 weeks of that baby's life, if you're a mom, I'm sure you can relate, they are hell, because the baby's adjusting to the world, and the sleeping patterns, you're not getting sleep, you're sleep deprived, and it was just a lot of things happening, from the financial spectrum to the emotional, the mental, the physical part. And at the very same time, there's this society that wants you to feel like you need to be this perfect, looking mom. Between you and I, there isn't such a thing where you snap back. Only people that snap back go through surgery or are paid to actually have their body snap back. But between you and I, a general poor and lerato, we go through the most. And and breastfeeding, you change, you lose weight, I would hear comments, and all of these things. I no longer look like myself. It was just a lot of things. And I think that is when I was in the pits, emotionally, mentally. And now I went through the pregnancy already with so many things piling on. And now there's this person I'm expected to raise. And as, defeated as I felt and broken as I felt, I doubted my capabilities of actually being a mother. And I just was cold. I was numb. There would be points where the baby would cry, and I would just look at him like this. and not do anything, and my mom would come in and she would not understand how I'm feeling. I would be on the internet and try to understand why am I feeling like this, until I got to understand that I was suffering from I thought it was baby blues, but it took a long while, and that's when I realized that it was postpartum depression. So postpartum depression happens because as a woman you change once you have a child, and you don't change just physically, but you change mentally and emotionally. And that part of you that goes to the stars to go get your baby soul, you're never the same person once you have a child. And at the same time, you get rejected from communities because you're no longer as fun and outgoing to your friends. You no longer, you have a responsibility now, and we think differently because I'm a mom, and I need to look out for my child. And at the same time, I when I have 100 rands, I need to think that 20 rands must go to me and 80 rands to my child. That is the mentality, once that motherly instinct kicks in, everything just becomes different. And I lived with that for a full year until my son was, I think, 1. That is when I was, starting to actually forgive myself, to forgive everything, to forgive how everything happened. Your firstborn child, catches you whenever, and you grow with your child because you also get to discover yourself, to rediscover yourself. But our society is so misinformed when it comes to izinto ezifana ne-depression, ne-postpartum depression, because ama-depression ayahluka. But in all round that, just to sum things up, you might be going through things, but it is coming across as depression. Between you and I, it is very necessary to seek professional help, because sometimes we run to abantu thinking that siyaloywa or noma unamadlozi, you feeling deep sadness. There are certain traumas inside of you that need healing. I was so angry at the first year, my baby's first year of existence, because I was trying to deal with, I wouldn't even go and touch on the part of the baby's father, because out of sight, out of mind, and a single parent, and I'm raising my son to my best ability as I can. I had to, there were nights I would cry and look at him and apologize for being such a bad mom, because I would be so angry sometimes. I would just feel like I just want to smash your head. You annoy me. And it's only when I realized that there's something wrong with me. Why am I feeling like this? I'm supposed to be the happiest. But when people are asking me, how's motherhood? I'm like, it's good. It's okay. Gosh, I'm waist training, and gosh, like I'm feeling the best. I'm clinching and training. So it's a lot. So I had to go through that to speak to him, because he recognizes me. He recognizes my voice. And I would tell him every night before I go to bed, I am sorry. I'm really sorry for it. I'm trying. I'm really trying, And I started opening myself up to understanding that you have a beautiful gift, a healthy baby. You are this, you are that. And it was so hard. It was so hard. I was trying to protect him, but I was hurting myself. Was trying to protect him. So making a decision to forgive everything and everyone was when I started my healing point. So to men in general, being pregnant, for carrying a person in your body for plus 200 days, plus minus 200 days, it is not something I can explain or put it in words. But should you make someone pregnant, understand that this person is going through a lot of changes. You top it off by not being there, being unavailable, emotionally unavailable. If you're not emotionally unavailable, you are just disregarding the pregnancy at all. Let us be better men and try to understand that ngokwedlozi uma umuntu ekhulelwe, the whole act of pregnancy is a spiritual and a personal and it's a beautiful act that it brings together and unifies DNAs. Amadlozi, watching the patterns of DNAs come together like a puzzle. And Amadlozi are now saying, we are giving you a responsibility. Grow together. The reason why most people do not last with their baby daddies, it's because you grow as a woman. Spiritually, you become this different person because pregnancy puts you in that light. Then this person does not choose to grow with you. Then what happens? You grow apart. And it's very hard to connect even after once the child is there. But if you play a vital role of choosing to actually evolve with your partner, be pregnant yourself, because she's not only pregnant, but you are pregnant. Should I be pregnant again? I didn't want to have a baby, but maybe if I want to have a child again, or the universe decides to bless me with another human, I don't want to experience what I experienced with my first pregnancy. It's so painful going through things alone. Your baby's first heartbeat, and because clinic, you don't have this luxury of having the boyfriends there. But when people would go there, ultramel, I didn't have that luxury. I was flat right, going through the most financially during my pregnancy. And it was a lot, but everything happens for a reason. Like I said, that when you're a healer, you relate to situations differently, because someone might be looking at this and be regaining healing for themselves. Pregnancy is not an easy point, and you are allowed to feel the way you're feeling. That is why when you're pregnant, you are emotional. You are all of this. It is okay for you to feel like this. But don't put yourself in compromising positions, because you tend to make decisions and say, I'm in this relationship because of the child. Without both parents existing, it is a decision that you make on your own. Should the person be willing and want to be part of the child's life, that is a plus. Should the family be receptive of a child, that is a plus. There's nothing most painful like everything is one-sided. There's so many things that just put you to like, what, I respect you, but let us be better men. Don't put a seed in someone and then expect them to, because you tend to drift away as a partner, and and you see another mpo with a sexy body, a snatched waist, and you forget about this person, and then tension. So allow yourself to evolve together with this person and grow together. And if you are going through something, or there are emotional traumas, or there are certain things you're feeling, whatever it is, besides the postpartum situation, it's important to speak up. I'm an advocate for actually seeking professional help, even if it's your church, even if it's counseling, even if it's seeing whoever, but kubalulekile ukukhuluma, because traumas come in many ways, and the post-traumatic part, when now your mind starts to replay, whether you have been raped, whether you have had an abortion, whether you have done something, it is important to seek that help. Speak to someone. Konyuluka uzophola, so that into lena engaphakathi kwakho izophuma, uqale healing process. Because if something happened 20 years ago and it still triggers you, that means you still need to heal. And remember, healing is a process. Whether you a male or a woman, we all have gone through something in our lives that has changed you for the worst or changed you for the better. But as a community, we are so ignorant. You see, Uzbandbani has got a drinking problem. Umbiza ngesitagwa, niyamthuka. Kanti that person is numbing a certain point. You try to reach out to your parents and bathi uthanda izinto or whatever the case might be. Seek professional services so that you don't find yourselves in this point. Imagine I was 16, 17, so defeated, broken. I even tried to take my life, and I felt to a certain extent in my adulthood, amadlozi are not fair. My life has been nothing but a trail of misery, depression, sadness, because if I'm not trying to find myself, amadlozi. If it's not amadlozi, it's disappointments from life. Ganti, what it is do amadlozi want from me? But we realize that umntwana nomntwana uza neyibusiso. Don't look at yourself and say, I am pregnant, it is the end of the world for me. No. You need that blessing to unlock whatever it is you need in that life. Sometimes there are certain situations, there's certain things you are wanting to get from Badimu Bahau, but it doesn't manifest because dilotsa how di kwetso or batho ba bapala ka wena. But because ngwana is a neutral energy, ngwana is coming directly from the spirit. Utla di dikhia tsa matlhogonolo wa hao. So your child sometimes is the unlocking to whatever it is where you need to go. Sometimes your things were not okay, and when you have the child, you start to think differently and have direction. Maybe you didn't have a child and your life was moving in rotation, but now you have a child and you got that job, you got that promotion, you have that business going for you, because sometimes Badim wants to trust you with responsibility. Not saying that when you don't have a child they don't, but I'm not bantluning, but I'm speaking to Batwadi, umntwana uza neyibusiso empilweni yakho. And sometimes kuze ezinye izinto zivuleke. That is why amadlozi azokupha ingane kuze izofika nale ikhiya ezovula le minyango lela. So don't look at yourself and say you are pregnant and it is the end of the world for you. Sometimes idlozi fuze likubusise uzokwazi ukuba responsible with whatever it's blessing you with. I don't know how my life would be. I actually don't imagine my life without my son. But I'm just trying to give you a picture of saying that everything works together for our good in life. It's a given. And if you had an abortion or a termination, stop feeling like it is the end of the world. I have also had a termination at some point in my life, and I was not proud of that. It was a backdoor situation, and I was young, and I did it, and I hid it from my mom. And after that, it affected me later on in life, and that's how I'm saying that don't put yourself in prison. You can still get spiritual healing for that. It is your body at the end of the day, whatever you choose to decide. But speak to someone. Even if sometimes that sitlari or whatever, go find healing. Because we tend to sleep with these boyfriends and they give us money to go buy the morning after pills, but sometimes they do not work, and sometimes you're not even aware that you're pregnant, and when you tell a person you're pregnant, they just shove you with imali to terminate, and there's no follow-up after that. Life continues. It's a normal relationship. Gandhi, inside you are carrying so much hurt, burden, whatever it is you're carrying, and until iba so you eventually start becoming aggressive, becoming bossy, I haven't even got into the spiritual aspect. It's important to heal. That's why I'm saying it's important to heal. Sometimes even you lost a child. We never get to speak about this. Mawulahlekelwe umntana in our communities, they just say, uzayenza omunye, uzomreplacer. Ganti, there are certain things you are harboring inside of you. It is a lot. We never forget. Being a woman, it's a lot, and I want to applaud each and every mother, mom, mommy, mama, mommy, whoever you are watching this video from your comfort of your office, your home, your car. Know that you are doing the best you can. There is no manual of being the mommy of the year, but keep on pushing and fighting for the best you can get for yourself. Don't say you're gonna depend on a man to be the best version of yourself. Vuga ustintite, and with the little that you have, make something out of it. Make that child be proud of you. I was raised by a strong woman, not a single mom, no, not a single parent, no, but I was raised by a strong woman. I was raised by a strong woman. I have both parents alive, but my mom was a fighter and still is a striker because she raised 2 kids. It's a boy and a girl, and the dynamics around that, because raising someone is not easy. They go through teenagehood, they go through all of this, it's a lot. But today she's looking at a product and saying, look at you, and for that, even I'm grateful, we should just thank ourselves. You're doing a good job. You will get there. Don't base your parenting skills on Google or on whatever. Be the best version of you are, but don't be a toxic parent. Sometimes we come from toxic home and end up being toxic parents to our kids unaware. Sometimes I'm a principal from our parents, and not necessarily some principles that we want to pass on to our kids, because remember, our parents take on also those principles from their parents. So outline, or rather have an image of the kind of mom you want to be. Have a direction of the kind of home you want to have. If you grew up in a home whereby umama utugu baba, make it a point that you will never expose your child to that. If it is, break away from that situation. You are in an abusive relationship and your child is seeing that every day. It is breaking that little soul. Break away from that and look out for number 1, which is you and your baby. So I'm proud of you. And to those parents that haven't gone through the experience, because we are all parents, as long as you've got a womb and you have unamasocha as umuntu wesilisa, you are a parent. If you are waiting to have a child, at the right time, uzomthola umntwana. Don't be bleached or pushed down by society and say that no, we don't know your bodies, we don't know what's happening. Remember, it's always a DNA. So it might be that you are not meeting the match to your puzzles. You've not been meeting. Kunabantu that banenhlanhla, whereas every person, their DNA is logically ziyamatch. Umuntu has got 5 kids, has got 6 kids, and as fun is abantu. So don't overlook that. And if ungaphiwanga ngumntwana, you can always adopt. You can always raise your sisters. You can always you are a parent in your own right. And if you say, Gogo, I want to be child free, it's okay. It is your decision. We all have a choice in life. Be on contraceptives if you don't want unplanned pregnancy. Use a condom if you don't want unplanned pregnancies, to avoid inani lama abortion ayenzakalayo, because we take it as just a surgical procedure, but mentally and spiritually and emotionally inama after effects that have a long-term effect, even should we decide to have kids again in the future. So let us look out for myself. That was just something I wanted to get off my chest today, because what I experienced with my eyes is that our communities are so misinformed. They're too quick to judge, they're too quick to gossip, Anyeke uthi umfazi uhlebe ngomunye umfazi and make a joke about another woman. This is life. Asazi sonke ukuthi siyophelelaphi. So if you still think like that, move like that, you need healing, sister. You need to be cleansed, in a swimming pool with 20 liters of chlorine, because indaba yakho is just wrong. But let us be better people. So I will see you again probably during the course of this week. Just been I hate saying this every time, but I've just been busy. But I hope that we will support each other as abo mama. And if you see omunyu mama struggling raising their child, buy nappies, buy Vaseline, buy something. If it won't hurt your pocket, if you see that you can help them, help assist in something. Sometimes it is good to ask umuntu, are you okay? If you have a friend that is pregnant, ask them, friend, are you okay? After the birth, don't neglect your friends and think that they're going through enjoying their babies. No. Someone might be looking like they're enjoying their babies, posting the good pictures on Instagram. Ganti, they are going through the most. Let us be a society that is there for each other. Don't look down on your friend who doesn't have a child because you have a child. Don't look down on your friend who has a child or children because you don't have any. Or when now you have one, your friend has got 3, and now you feel that you're better. This is life. And let us be better people. And to our men, let us have a heart. Let us be empathetic. Let us have sympathy. Don't be a man and say, oh, mina ngimfuna umfazi onomntwana, because awuzali, awukhiphi muntu la ngesibeletho sakho. Don't say that. You're gonna have a daughter someday. Imagine if some guy says that's your daughter and you know ukuthi umntwana wakho has been a good girl, just that umoshe abantu noma bafana abasile, and they have the possibilities, or they if umuntu mthande nomntwanakhe or nabantwana bakhe. Don't be two-sided. Don't complicate a strong woman's purpose and direction in their pursuit of finding love and making them having choose between dick and their child. Don't do that. Make them choose between love and not being in love. By that, I'm saying umuntu umthande nabantwana bakhe. Don't be two-sided. And to women that are saying, no, I don't want a guy that has got kids because I don't have any. You don't know that guy. He's probably present in those kids' life, and he's probably having an everlasting impact on those children's life, on whatever it is. So let us not, abantwana are blessings, no matter how much we look at it. So thank you so much for coming through and watching this video. I will definitely see you around these YouTube streets. Like my videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't do, and click on the notification buttons so that you're notified every time new content is up on the channel. I am Mpho, the advocate of Idlozi, ugogo unkomi yahlaba, ngithi kini lisedi, kama kukhanya, lastly, Thokozani. Thokozani.